Hi guys, Matt from Sweatshirt here, and today we're going to talk about planks. One of the simplest, well, one of the most basic exercises, not simple, but one of the most basic exercises you could do in the gym. Also one of the worst performed exercises you'll see performed in the gym. I think because of its simplicity, people take for granted the detail that's involved, both from the practitioner and from the people instructing it on some occasions. So we're going to come with 10 reasons why your plank might not be as good as it could be. Number one is the majority of people out there holding planks are holding them for too long for their ability. So they have a time period that they want to hold this plank embedded in their brain, irrelevant of technique. So I'm going to hold a minute plank, 2-minute plank, 5-minute plank, whatever. And pretty much on all occasions, good form goes out of the window solely to reach this prerequisite number. So the points that are coming, most people, not all people, most people probably need to address at least one of them to perfect the form, and then go back to this first point and go for duration with that perfect form or much more improved form. So yeah, so number two is hips too low. So the whole point of the exercise is to encourage core stability, core strengthening. So that kind of would suggest that we need to have this kind of solid tension throughout the body. So if I just set up here, so hips too low, you can see here there's zero engagement from kind of this mid-core area. So this is a no-no. So if your hips are too low, you need to sort that out. So I'm gonna cover the correct technique at the end. So let's go through the mistakes. So hips too low, let's avoid that. You're making the exercise easy by avoiding all core engagement and all tension that you're actually trying to encourage by performing the plank. Hips too high, so the opposite. So we could have hips too low, but we could also have hips too high. So see how this kind of turns into some kind of down dog exercise? It puts an increasingly amount of effort onto my arms, it shifts weight off my feet, I guess, and takes all work away from my core, my mid region. So yeah, hips too high. I would argue hips too high is not as bad as hips too low. Hips too low, you're probably in danger of hurting yourself in this position, just with the gravity pull on the mid back and kind of the kind of zero engagement that's happening. This, like I said, it's almost like a down dog, so you're not going to hurt your back in this position. You're not going to get any core work from it, but you might be getting a nice little juicy calf stretch or something, and a little bit maybe upper body strengthening, but that's not what we're looking for. So hips too high, perhaps not as bad as hips too low, but still, it's not a plank. Okay. Point number 4 is arm positioning. So I personally like to perform planks from my hands. It just crosses over well for me into kind of handstand and more like hand balancing type exercises, but obviously that's not for most people. So we're going to talk about planks down on the forearms. So you'll see a lot of people set up like this. So again, they're wide, the elbows are flared out. A few reasons why this position's adopted. It's easier because your base is wider. So instead of this, we're out here. So we've got a nice kind of wide base to support ourselves. So it's easier. And for most people, it'll probably be comfier because we spend a lot of time in this kind of internally rotated shoulder position. So instead of this, the shoulders are rotated, whether we're kind of sat on our phones or driving or just chilling, watching telly. Our shoulders are generally forwards. So when we do that, it's hard to roll the shoulders in and bring the elbows or the forearms parallel. So we kind of just go, oh, go on then, and just let the arms go out. So the shoulders are rolled in, which encourages us to go elbows out. So let's avoid that flare out position with the elbows, bring them in. Again, we'll talk about the correct position right at the end of the video. So avoid this, it wants to be in here. 5th point, breathing. Any position, just generally an exercise, I guess, where it encourages a bracing movement or bracing action. Generally, you'll find people start to hold their breath. The plank's one of them. So let's look to be taking nice deep breaths. So, nice deep in and out, as opposed to, or just holding your breath. Just normal breathing. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Encourage just normal breathing patterns. 6, 7, 8 are all kind of linked. So 6, we'll go with the shrugging of the shoulders. So let's avoid this kind of action where the traps are up around kind of the ears, the shoulders are up around the ears. I can't even see if I'm doing it. Let's go this way. So you're kind of in this position. You want to lengthen through the neck and get that much more kind of, it just looks better, I guess. It's just a more comfortable position to be in as opposed to this. So avoid shrugging of the shoulders, avoid hunching of the back. So avoid this kind of, they're probably going to come together where the shoulders are shrugged up and the back is like hunched over. So let's avoid this, or avoid the hunching of the back, avoid the shrugging of the shoulders, and then avoid the collapsing of the scapula. So avoid this kind of position where you sit into the shoulders. I can't really show you from this angle. Let me take you up here. So, avoid. So from that position, if you can see in my shirt, the collapse of the shoulders. So you see the creasing in the t-shirt. So we want to avoid this position and go to a more protracted position where we're pushing hard into the elbows and encouraging that strength in the kind of the musculature in the upper back and around the scapula. So avoid this, where there's again zero upper body kind of work going on. We're looking more for this kind of action where we're pushing out through the elbow and through the shoulder. So that's 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8. 9, leg position. So we're going to want to have narrow legs. Like we said with the arms, flaring of the elbows, widens the base, makes the exercise easier. So just as wide legs widens the base, wide legs widens the base. Again, so it makes that kind of rotation element easier. So bring the feet together for the kind of the hardest position that you're going to be able to adopt. And then avoid bent knees. So when you're in a plank, you're looking for this kind of idea of full body tension. Everything's working. There's only kind of 2 points of contact on the floor, but the exercise is kind of, the whole point of the exercise is to encourage this tension through the 2 points. So the feet and the elbows, or the forearms, are the 2 points of contact. And we're working on being nice and controlled and tense throughout the position, like a bridge. So by bending the knees, the tension's leaking from that joint. So avoid this bent leg position. We're looking to lock the knees and encourage that full body tension. And then 10, head position. So final point is head position. So a few mistakes are going to be kind of this position, like just kind of that hunched over when you're on your phone. You kind of, the weight of your head is kind of suffering gravity and just dropping or drooping into your body. Again, it's going to happen in this plank position where you just not even give your head a second thought. And then also another mistake would be to do the opposite, where you're craning your head up and causing all this unnecessary tension around the kind of the neck. So what you're looking for is just that nice neutral head. So you set up, and generally it's probably you're going to be looking at the floor. So you're looking to lengthen through the neck, but it to be in line, neutral line with the spine. So we're not drooping, we're not craning. Okay, so let's put all that together and get our almost perfect, let's say, plank position. So we're gonna go feet together. We're gonna go knees locked. I'm gonna show you from a few angles. We're gonna go hips slightly lower than the shoulders. We're gonna go ass tight, abs tight. We're gonna go forearms in line. We're gonna go fists to encourage that tension. We're gonna push into the elbows, push out of the shoulders. So we're getting that protracted shoulder blade, not retracted shoulder blade. We're gonna go long through the neck. We're gonna look neutral at the floor. And then we're gonna hold. You know, and it's as simple as it is, I've been holding like 10 seconds and straight away I can feel the work being done. So let me just show you from this angle. So neutral, parallel forearms, fists, head down, protract through the shoulders, squeeze the fists, abs are tight, knees are locked, dropping my weight back into my heels, pushing hard into my elbows. One more time. Knees locked, elbows, forearms parallel, squeeze the fists, squeeze the butt, abs tight, hips slightly lower than shoulders, head neutral. And there you have it. That's how to plank. I would consider myself to have a relatively strong core. I held them planks for 10, 20 seconds, if that. Sweat from the effort involved. It's not an easy exercise. It's a basic exercise, but it's by no means easy. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding anything in the video, just drop me a message below or inbox me and I'll get back to you. Hope some of that information was useful. If you have any other suggestions for any tutorials that you'd like to see, let me know. Yeah, speak to you soon. Happy planking.